overall, what I'm going to aim to show you is a few things today. So first is going to be basically how to process stuff. Like let's say you didn't do incremental reading and you just had like a note or an article you want to process. I'm going to show you the basics of how to do that. Then I'll show you some of the management stuff of like how priority intervals work. And then lastly, we'll do some actual incremental reading. So to start, let's just get you a better layout. Can you press Alt-C?
Alt. Oops.
C.
C.
Yeah. Click on the main window again. Oh yeah, that's what you want to see. Okay. So now you want to like rearrange this a bit. So let me just send you a quick picture of how mine looks. Basically, I have the content tree or the knowledge tree on one side, and I have the main window taking up most.
Oops.
Similar layout. So just put the. All right, perfect. So now press Control Shift F5.
Control Shift.
F5, yeah. You need to use your modifier key, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it's because it's messing with the laptop built in.
Yeah.
Oh my god, F.
And yeah, you need the FN? Yeah. And then name it like default or something cool like that.
Default.
Yep. And then press OK. Perfect. Now move any of the windows somewhere else. Yeah, just move it, like drag it or like expand it. Anything is fine, except to modify it. Now press Control F5.
Control.
Yep, Control F5. No, just Control F5 now. Oh, no, not Control Shift, just Control F5.
Oh,
yeah.
I see. Oh, yet again. Okay.
That's not what's supposed to happen. But okay, why don't we save the layout again? So just like, yeah, change the windows to how you want them to look. So maybe make the main window a bit bigger and the knowledge tree a bit bigger as well. Yeah, but that wasn't supposed to happen. Yeah, so just do Control Shift F5 again.
Control Shift F5.
Yep, and then press Enter.
Okay.
Yeah, now move something and press Control F5.
Move something.
And by the way, yeah. Now you can press Control F5.
Control.
Do you have Control F5.
It does nothing.
Oh, maybe move the window more? Yeah. Now try it. Yeah, just leave it out of place and then press Control F5.
Oh, I will leave it like this.
Yep.
Nope, it does nothing.
Okay, then try another thing. So you see in the main window where it says File, Edit, Search, Learn, View, Toolkit window. So click on Window.
Do you see what it's happening?
Yeah. I have no idea what's happening. I've never seen that happen.
Oh.
Yeah. So click on Layout. And then do Apply Default Layout. Okay. Are you on a high DPI screen by chance?
Yeah, it's a 2K screen.
Okay. Then like you need 2560 by 1440, right?
Both. I don't know. It's not the standard. It's 3.
Oh, okay.
It's a
3440.
It's a Huawei laptop. It's not using standard resolution.
Okay. One of those. Okay. Then just close SuperMemo. There's something we need to fix.
Okay.
Yeah. And just go to File Explorer. And go to your C drive.
C drive.
Yep. And then go to SuperMemo. Yep. Yeah. And then right click on sm18.exe.
Oh, that's SuperMemo 15 actually, not the 18.
Oh, you're using 18 now though. That's the old, yeah.
I have both. Okay.
So, yeah. So just click on sm18.exe and then right click on it.
This one?
Yeah. Yeah, that one. And then go to Properties.
Yeah, I'm doing. It's taking a while.
Yeah.
It's because
Not sure.
This computer is end. What do I do now?
Properties,
Okay.
and then click on compatibility. And then click on change high DPI settings. A bit down. A bit down. Yeah, right there.
I never done this.
Yeah, and then click on override high DPI scaling behavior. Yeah, and then change it to system enchants.
Okay.
Yeah, that. And then press OK. And then press apply. And now open SuperMemo again, and it should work better this time because the scaling should not be terrible.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Now it's working.
That's the
Great.
internet layout.
Yeah, before it was just being screwy because of Windows scaling stuff. So just move something again and then try Control F5 again. And this time it should work fine.
Okay. Oops.
Are you sure you're pressing the right F5? Should almost certainly do something.
Control F5.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Control F5. Okay, then just try the window or the mouse way or.
Yeah, it's Control
No.
and the other Control.
Yeah.
5.
Yep.
Oh no. Maybe it's because these keys are also combined with media. Functionalities. I don't know.
Oh, that could be it. Okay, then just click on Window at the top.
I lowered the volume. Window.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Yeah, next to Help, and then do Layout, and then Apply Default. Yeah, so that's all that does. So basically, your layout will sometimes go to hell, and then you use that, and it unscrews it. So just do another thing. Click on Window, and then click on Hints. Yeah. Okay, perfect. Now if you highlight, like hover over an icon, any icon is fine. Yeah, it'll tell you what it does, which is extremely useful. I don't know why it's disabled by default.
Oh.
Yeah, really useful. So just press Alt-N though.
Alt?
Yeah, Alt-N.
M.
Yep. Okay, perfect. All right, so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna teach you a bunch of stuff. You're gonna write it down all here, and I'm gonna teach you how to memorize the stuff you've written down. Okay. So just to start, Control-Shift F5 seems to work, so write that down. What do you think Control-Shift F5 did? You can press it again if you want.
Control-Shift and
F5, yeah.
F5. That was to make to save the layout.
Yeah. So it just saves a new default layout. So just write that down.
Control.
Yep.
Shift.
I would recommend changing your notation slightly. So, like the way I would write it is something like this. So I just sent it to you on Discord.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that could be it. Yeah, that's the first one. And then I think it's good to write down Control F5 when you start using your computer again. Control F5 is pretty useful, so just write that down. What do you think Control F5 did?
Control
F5.
F5.
The one we tried to press. That should work.
Yeah, I thought it was to reset the layout to default, I think.
Yep, pretty much.
Okay, it's Control
F5, yeah. Yep, spot on. And there are two more shortcuts that you've already used. So the first one is Alt-C. What do you think Alt-C does?
Alt-C.
Yeah.
Why it's making this jump now?
Oh, basically press, okay, so if you don't like the jump, personally, I prefer it. You can press Shift-Enter, and then it won't add the space.
Shift enter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, then it just does new line. But if you do enter, then it adds the space, sort of.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay, Alt C.
Yep. Press it now if you want.
Yeah, I don't get.
So what do you think it did?
It's creating a new writing screen. I don't know. So what?
Sorry, you're cutting out a bit. Sorry, say that again though. Like, what do you think it does?
Yeah, I think it created this one topic, empty topic that I can type out. Type in.
Yeah, it's just showing you where you are, kind of. Like that pane on the right is like File Explorer. It's called the knowledge tree.
Yeah.
So it just shows you where you are inside of it. It does something else though. So just close the knowledge tree. And now press Alt C.
Alt C.
Yeah, so it just like opens it too.
Okay.
So it does both those things. Pretty useful.
And what's the green stand for? The green color.
I'll get into that in a minute. So just write down this shortcut and then we'll get right into that. Yeah. So in the knowledge tree, you can see a lot of stuff, right? You see the light bulb thing, you see the T, you see the blue T, you see the green T, and yeah. So basically, in SuperMemo, everything you see is an element. So an element is like a page of something. So everything you see is just a page of something. Maybe it's a question, maybe it's an article, but anything, it's all just an element of some sort. And within elements, though, there are two major kinds. So the first is topics, the second is items. So to just give you a bit of background on the nomenclature, essentially a topic is passive material. So for example, it could be like a video, it could be audio, it could be a song, it could be an article, it can be a book, it can be literally anything. But the common trait is that it's passive, right? You look at it, you read it, you watch it, you listen to it, but you're not using your brain. It's just like coming into your brain. You're just taking it in as input passively. And then the second type of element we have, the major type, is items. So items are active recall, which I'm sure you're already familiar with. And basically items are just like flashcards. So very, very simple. But our goal in SuperMemo is that we have a bunch of topics on various subjects and various material. And over time, we convert that into active recall items. Because if you just have topics and only topics, even if you read the same topic 100 times, the memory won't get any stronger because your brain is like a muscle, right? If you don't struggle to remember something, you're just taking the input, then there's no real point because you're just going to forget it anyways. So we want to convert the parts of topics we care about into items over time, and then cement that into long-term memory, basically. So like to summarize though, basically everything in the knowledge tree is an element. Within elements, there are topics, and topics are passive material, and items are active recall.
Okay.
So yeah, does that? I'll explain what the difference between the blue and the green is in a sec. But does that make sense so far? Are you able to write it down?
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah.
Okay. Then just go ahead and make a note of it.
Here as well.
Yeah.
In the same.
No, I'd make it like, yeah. I'd just make it a little bit concise though. Like, so just explain, okay, what are elements? Elements are this, and then topics are that, and that, like that. But like, I would use the same formatting. So use the colon. So like, yeah, have like topic or something on the left, and then the explanation on the right, separated by a colon.
Topic. It's like a convention, the colon.
Yeah.
Okay, I see.
It's not like a hard rule. It's just very common amongst SM users.
Topic is a passive.
Yeah. Material.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oops.
And yep.
Topic.
And
item. Item, it's an active material, right?
Active recall is the specific fancy way to say it.
Yeah.
But roughly, yeah.
It's recall already. Okay.
Yeah. Active recall.
In Anki, we say recall when it's already a flashcard.
Okay. Yeah. I guess topics are just notes and items are just cards as you put them in Anki. But yeah, that's. And then the other thing you're asking is like what the T means. So T for T in like the knowledge tree is a topic, and the green T means that. Okay, so I don't recommend like you don't actually need to bother with this very much now, but a green T means that it's part of your repetitions. So if you sit down, do your repetitions for the day, that this might show up in incremental reading. So the blue means it's pending. It's not part of the learning process. If you have extra time or you learn some new material, then you can add this in. But it's not there. You have to finish your rest of your reps and then learn new material, and then that'll add to it.
Okay.
But yeah.
It will be more or less equivalent to the suspended in Anki.
I guess so.
Are you familiar with Anki?
Not very much, but a little bit.
It's the yellow. When it's yellow, it's when it's suspended. That Anki will ignore those cards.
Yeah, that's a little bit different. When it's like so, press Alt N.
Alt N.
Yeah.
I have a child.
Yeah, and then press Control D.
Control D.
Yeah, and then press Enter.
That is to ignore the inlining.
Yeah. So this is probably the same as your suspended in Anki. Like this, it'll never show you again. It's just there as like reference material.
Yeah.
So the blue, it can add it. Yeah. So blue is just pending. It's like new material you might see in the future if you have the extra time to add it to the learning process.
Okay, that's
more or less.
Okay.
Yeah, but like you're pretty much never going to see pending material, because like this is one of the very few modern SM decks in existence. So generally people don't use pending. Yeah. So okay, just go back to the other topic. Yeah, that one. And I don't recommend writing down about the pending since you'll probably never use it. But I do recommend writing down what Control D did. So what do you think it did?
Control D created a child topic, I think.
No, Alt N created the child, right?
Oh, Control N for new and D.
Well, like
it's for ignoring the element.
Yeah.
Okay. I must say
so just write that down.
There are so many shortcuts in SuperMemo.
Yeah. That's how I like to start with them though, because it makes you really fast when you know the majority of them. But I wouldn't get too overwhelmed because like you don't have to use even half of these. You can always just use the equivalent buttons or menus, that kind of thing. I just like to teach them though, because a lot of times you won't get exposed to them for a long time, except when I try to show them now. So just ignore, but not item, ignore element, because you can also use it on topics, right? Yeah.
Ignore topic.
Or ignore element, because you can ignore items and topics both. So yeah. And then
let me summarize. An element can be a topic and an item.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's sort of like how in the periodic table you'd say that everything is an element, and then you could describe a specific thing with a category. So element is just the overarching category for all the stuff you see in SuperMemo.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. So next, do you know what Alt N is doing?
Yeah, that created a child topic.
Yeah, child is I wouldn't put the child part there. It just says that. But I would just say it creates a topic. That's the main thing that matters.
Okay.
Control N and Alt N are a little bit different. So
Alt.
Yeah. So what Control N does is the same as Alt N, except if you have something you want to paste, it'll paste it into the new topic for you.
Say that again.
So, like if you have something on your clipboard that you've copied, and then you do Control N, it'll paste it into the new element for you.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, Alt N is generally good enough.
Creates a new element or topic.
What do you think? Do you think it's an element or do you think it's a topic?
Well, here it says T, it's for topic, but it's also an element.
It's both, but topic is probably a better way to describe it since it's more specific. Yeah. And okay, there's one more I'll teach you before we do something fancy. So press Alt A.
So press Alt
A.
A.
Yeah, A. Yep. Yeah. So what do you think we just did?
I think it's creating a flashcard now.
Yeah, basically that's it. Very simple. So press Shift Control Delete.
Shift Control Delete.
Yeah. And you can just press Enter. So this is just a faster way to delete stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, you can use it on this one since it's empty too if you want. Oh, you might have to click. I think to be in editing mode or something.
I have to delete the screen.
Yeah, you have. Yeah, you have to do that. Now, if you press Shift Control Delete, it'll delete it. Yep, just like that.
Okay.
Perfect. So just write down Alt A.
Delete the current.
Oh, no. No, that's Shift Control Delete. Alt A is the new item or new flashcard.
Oh, new. And by default, it's Q&A, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can change template stuff later, but I won't go too much into that because the default template's good enough.
Okay.
And then next, yeah, Shift Control Delete.
Shift Control. This deletes the selected item.
Element, yeah.
Element. Yeah.
Yep. And by the way, it's completely normal for these terms and shortcuts to be really confusing. So you'll be able to go through these incrementally over time and then figure them out long term. Like all the stuff I'm teaching you here, it took me like months to learn. So I'm just throwing a lot at you. So you just have to be patient with it, and over time it'll all make sense as you just sort of click.
Because I'm just in Anki, it's so easy. You have nodes and cats, and that's it.
Yeah, it'll feel easy at some point. Like it probably looks kind of daunting, but I can promise, like when you get to a higher level, it'll all it just fits really well. But we have enough here that we can now go on to close deletion. Can I presume you know how close deletion works?
Yeah, I made a bunch of close deletions in SuperMemo 15.
Oh, okay. So just go ahead and make a close deletion then on any shortcut. And the shortcut for close deletion is Alt-Z.
Alt-Z.
Yeah. So just highlight the shortcut part. Yep. Alt-Z.
Okay.
Man, your computer is not in good shape. Yeah, oh, you already know Alt left.
Yeah, it's because it's an entry-level laptop.
Okay.
That's why I wanted to use my desktop for this.
Yeah. Okay. Let me throw some new shortcuts at you. Some really fun ones. So press Q.
Okay, let me get.
So, well, no, don't write them down. Don't write them down. We'll do that afterwards.
Okay.
So, like from here, I'll just show you a sequence of shortcuts.
Okay.
And don't use your mouse at all. So first, press Alt left.
Alt left.
Yeah, and then press Q. And then go to the beginning of the delete the selected element line.
Here?
And then, and then press Alt /.
Alt /.
Yeah, if that slash doesn't work, press other slash. If that slash doesn't work, tell me.
Yeah, it's because
entirely possible.
I'm using a Spanish keyword T. So
okay. Yeah. Then right click where your cursor is. And then do text.
Text.
Oh, never mind. Reading.
Reading.
And delete before cursor is Alt. What the hell is that sign? Delete before cursor? Go down a little bit.
Delete before cursor. Okay.
What is that?
You never seen it?
No. Is that like the degree sign?
No, it's a contraction for a number. Let's say number 1, you put N, this symbol, and 1.
That is very specific. I see. Okay. Then, all right, sorry, just a sec. Someone's at my door, but just press that use that shortcut at the beginning of that line.
Okay. Alt. Okay, now it's working, right? Backup, delete text before cursor. This will get.
You should make sure your cursor is at the right spot because you can't undo it. So be a little careful. Is it at the right spot? Where is the cursor actually?
It's here.
It should be at the beginning of the line.
At the beginning of the line. Yeah.
Yeah. Now press it. Yeah, just like that. Yeah, just like that.
And this process.
And now press.
You cannot undo this process.
The delete before, delete after, no. But you can also just like delete manually with your mouse, which you can undo. But I just like this because it's fast. So press Control up.
Control
up. Yeah.
Oh no.
Try making So try making another close deletion. And then after that we'll write stuff down. But like when you don't remember a shortcut or how to do something, just let me know. So do you remember how to make close deletion?
Yeah, it was something G. I think Alt G. Was that?
Try it. Yeah. Well done. And do you know how to go back? What we used before? Left back. Plus something? Yeah.
No, I don't.
Alt left. Yeah. Q? Nope. Q is for after that. So to go back to the topic or the item, then you have to use Alt left.
Yeah.
Try Alt left.
Yeah.
And now you can press yeah. And now you can delete before. And now let's try delete after that. So just do delete before.
Here, at the beginning of the close deletion.
Yes.
Okay, that was Alt and this rare icon.
Yeah. Yeah, and then press. Do you know home and end keys on your keyboard?
12.
Yeah, press the end key.
At the end?
No, not end. End.
End?
Yeah.
What do you mean? The enter?
END.
END. I don't have such key.
Oh, okay. Never mind then. Then go to the end of that line. You can use Control right to do it a bit faster.
Okay. Control.
To the end of the. Yeah, just Control left, Control right. Try it.
Control left, Control right.
Yeah. So it skips words, right? So it's a little bit faster than just using like your arrow keys normally. So go to the end of the. Oh, that's Alt right or Alt left.
Yeah.
So press Alt left again.
Alt left, Control left.
Yep. Not Control left, Alt left. Yeah, try Alt left. Yeah. So yeah, you can press Q. And then go to the end of that line.
That line?
Ignore element. Yeah.
That will be Control left.
Control right.
I Control right.
Yeah. So just skip to the end. Yeah, and then now you can press Alt period.
Alt period. I use this in the other.
Yeah.
Delete.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and then now you can press something to go back. Do you remember what it was?
To go back, it's Control up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect. So, do those make moderate sense to you?
Well, it's because I'm doing this in a single shot, but I think it makes sense, yeah.
Okay. Let's write them down then. So the first one is the close deletion shortcut. One of the most important ones. So you should probably write that down first. Do you remember how to do it?
It was Alt G.
Yep. Spot on.
But the text should be selected already, right?
Yeah. Yep. And do you remember what it was we used after that?
To navigate.
Yeah.
Something and then Q. I think it was
Alt left. Yeah.
Alt left.
Yep. So Alt left, Alt right are sort of like the forward and back buttons in your browser. So just try spamming them a bit. That's Control left. Alt left.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah. Yeah, keep pressing it a few times. See what happens.
Not relevant. Yeah, I'm navigating through the different cards, right?
It's just navigating through your history of what you've browsed. So now you can press Alt right and then go the other direction. Yeah, and now you're back. So that's the first thing they can do. But Alt left has a secret power, which is that when you make a new closed deletion and you do Alt left, it'll take you to the card you've just made. So yeah, first thing is that Alt left, Alt right are like your forward back buttons in your browser. And then second thing is that Alt left takes you to the card you just made.
Okay, Alt left and okay, let me go slower.
Sure.
Yeah, it's because I'm not familiar with the shortcuts in English, so this is
yeah.
Yeah, this is playing a role. Alt left is oh my god.
Yeah.
I'm going to the last history scene screen, right?
Yeah. So back.
Oh, back into.
If it helps, you can write in Spanish too.
Previous screen.
Or I guess you could, yeah, something like that.
Okay.
So just like your forward and back in your browser, right?
Yeah.
It's like the same as that, pretty much. And then Alt right goes forward.
Colon, go forward.
Forward, yeah. Yep. And then for Alt left, you can also go to newly made card. So if that's a little bit confusing now, we'll make a few more cards as we go along, and then it should become more obvious. So let's write down some of the other shortcuts, though. So what do you think Q did?
Q went to the beginning of the text, maybe.
Well, okay. Try another thing. Press Escape.
Escape.
And then try typing cat and see what happens. Yeah. Does anything happen?
No, it's because it's not active.
Yeah. So now press Q.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So what do you think Q is doing?
Q is making the window active, so I can type in text.
Yeah. The fancy SM way to say it is go into editing mode.
Editing.
So that's what's Q doing. It's taking you to edit the question component, or for a topic. Yeah, that's good enough, more or less.
The Q stands for question.
Yeah. So press Alt left.
Alt left.
Oh, no. Just try it now. Yeah, and then press A. Yeah. So A does the same, but it just goes to the answer component.
Nice.
Yeah. So this is really useful because, like, unlike Anki, you want to be constantly editing your cards, and this makes it easy to do it without having to use your mouse at all. So you can just do reps, Q, A, edit, and then keep going. Yeah.
And to go
so you
back,
can
it's Alt right. Cool.
Yep.
Editing mode.
Yeah.
A it's for editing. Mode.
So Q is editing mode for question, and editing A is for answer. Yeah.
Answer side or. Yeah, in Anki we say front side and back side of the card.
I guess you could say that, but yeah, question answers I usually say in SM. Yeah. Okay. Oops. And then there's a few more shortcuts. So, okay, my recommendation is that you write down the delete before, delete after, but you only memorize them if you think they're actually useful. You don't have to do that now, but just write them down for now, and later you can decide if they're actually worth memorizing for you or not. So, do you remember how to delete before cursor?
Delete before cursor. Yeah, that was Alt plus the slash.
The weird key. Yeah, but it's not slash for you. It depends on the keyboard.
Yeah, but I want to memorize the default as well. Because
no, it actually
I have
like I've seen it. Oh,
I have the English keyboard as well. I'm usually using the Spanish.
okay. Huh. Okay, I guess you can do that then.
What do you recommend to learn just
Like
the
the one
Spanish?
you're gonna use.
Okay.
Yeah. Because like I've seen other Europeans with like the same thing. Like it's different on their keyboards as well. So you're not like an outlier.
Yeah, but that's funny because it's inputting a different character now, using the same. Oh, I see.
That's bizarre.
Okay. And that is doing delete. That deletes.
What do you think?
I think it was until the selection or starting the selection.
Well, do Alt N.
Alt N.
Yep. And type up some random stuff and try it. See what happens.
Yeah, let me see.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's from the start to the selection.
Yeah. Basically.
Okay. Maybe I'm not using the fancy vocabulary, but and then to go back, it's Alt right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That deletes text from the beginning or start. What's the correct way to say it?
From before cursor. It just deletes everything before the cursor.
Oh yeah, that's a fancy way to say it.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
And remember what it is for delete after cursor?
Delete after cursor. Oh man, I don't.
All right. It's Alt period.
Oh, Alt period. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Text after.
Yeah.
Okay. This text is saved, or I have to manually save this?
Oh no, it's all saved. You don't have to think about that at all.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, this is good. And then there's one more shortcut. Do you remember what it was?
No, I really don't know.
Control up. Try it now. So what do you think Control up is doing? Press Alt C.
Alt C?
Yep. Yeah. So what do you think Control up did?
It's going to the parent.
Spot on.
To the parent. How it's called this? Knowledge tree.
Sorry.
It went to the most parent branch in the.
You're cutting a little bit, but yeah, it's basically just taking you to the parent. Yeah.
Okay, let me go again. That was Control Up, or
yeah,
Control Up. Oh, it's the most immediate parent. Okay.
Yeah. Basically,
it's not necessarily the main one. Okay.
Yeah.
And that.
So it's pretty useful. Like. Yep.
Control Up.
Yeah. Are you any good with mnemonics?
Yeah.
Okay. I recommend that you make up a very stupid mnemonic for Control and a very stupid one for Alt. Because otherwise, you're going to have a lot of interference and keep getting them mixed up.
I must say that the mnemonics I use Spanish.
Yeah, that's fine. Like, I don't need to be able to understand it. You should just have something internal that you can use for these cards. But it'll save you a lot of time. Because you can reuse it a lot. Yeah.
It's assigning a peg to each key, right? So for instance, control.
Sorry?
That so what I do is that each key, it's modifying key. I will assign this with a peg using the tag system. So for instance,
peg.
control can be related to food or cooking.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds good then.
And
Yeah.
that can be, I don't know, cooking, potatoes or something like that. Or
Yeah.
that can be cooking. What's called in English? Baking.
What?
Because when you bake into
Oh.
the oven, it rises, so it goes up. And if you mess up, if a child is cooking this and it mess up, it will go to his parent for help.
Okay, yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
That's an example in
yeah,
English.
I couldn't have thought of that.
I usually don't use English for this, but it is a good approach.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I would do that. Like, have you seen Woz's 20 rules?
Yeah, and I have seen it.
Yeah. So it's exactly.
Yeah, actually, even if I used Anki, I read about SuperMemo's approach.
Yeah, it's really, really useful.
I think I have downloaded the whole wiki, actually. More than 3,000 articles.
Wait, you read it or imported it all?
Well, I just read, I don't know, let's say 30.
Oh, okay.
But
I see.
For instance, the schooling system, it's so long. So even if it's just one article, it's
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you start using incremental reading, though, it should be a lot easier. But this is okay. So this is like the.
That is what I tried actually with SuperMemo 15 to import the whole wiki.
Oh, it should be a lot easier now after I show you. Like SuperMemo 15 is a little bit messy, I think. Usually, I don't recommend people use it because I personally have never used it, and from what I've heard, it's a little bit harder. So yeah. But do you have any questions so far before we go on to the next thing?
Yeah, one simple question is: can you use SuperMemo with no mouse at all?
Yeah, you could actually. I think I could. It would be a little bit harder, but actually, no. There are like a few things that would be a little bit hard. Like you can do 80% of what you want without a mouse, but there's like a small bit of stuff you need a mouse for. But at some point, I recommend incrementally reading the shortcut list, which is what I did, and then memorizing all the shortcuts, or at least the useful ones. So like that's how I know a lot of these, like just from going through the shortcut list. Yeah.
That's because in Anki, when I'm not creating, I'm just reviewing. I'm using my Xbox 360 gamepad for reviewing. So I don't use mouse. So
Okay. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I rebind the key. So let's say instead of Alt, the Alt is the left trigger and something like that.
Okay, yeah, you can do that. But like I've done that before for my Japanese collection. I was using a PS4 controller for it. I wouldn't recommend it though for your normal IR collection because editing is very, very important.
Yeah.
And generally, you'll be
I don't mean for editing, just for reviewing.
Oh no, like you do that while doing reps actually. But like if you have reps where you don't need to do any editing, then yes, I would say you can do that. And I have done that for language stuff, but generally I would say I don't recommend it. It's a little bit hard to type with the keyboard.
Yeah.
But you could, like, if you only want to use the keyboard, you could do that for reps. Like that's definitely possible.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything else?
Yeah. We can get rid of this gibberish, right?
Oh, sure. Oh, just right click on it. And then you can just do delete. Oh, no.
Okay, cancel.
No.
Okay.
That's close. Yeah, you have to click on it.
Let me read.
And now delete it, yeah.
Oh, so it deletes the selected.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
that's good to know. That's good to know.
yeah, yeah. That was the best one.
Okay.
But now we can move on to extracts. So extracts are really simple. So just select any line of your choice, your favorite line.
The three is just one.
Yeah, you can do more than one if you want. You can select that entire thing, up to you.
The first one.
Oh, whoops. Yeah, then just press Alt X.
Alt X.
Yeah. And now press Alt Left. And press Q. And now you can make the close deletion. You don't have to delete anything around it, right?
Whoa, takes a while.
Yep. And you might, yeah. You might want to do a bit more processing, but like, let's say you don't. Do you remember how to dismiss this or to not see it again, to like suspend it?
To suspend it was,
I'll give you a hint. It's D plus something else.
D?
Yeah, D plus something else. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you can just press yes. And now you can see it turn yellow and you're not going to see it again. So this is like the basic shortcuts of processing, but let's do something a little bit fancier. So do you know Woz's Pleasure of Learning article?
Yeah. Are you
So
ready?
why don't we go? Okay. Why don't we go through a little bit of the beginning in incremental reading? Since you've read a little bit of it already, then it should be a bit easier.
Yeah.
So just a sec. Whoops.
I have Ankified this article.
Oh, okay. Then that won't be a very good example. Do you have another article in mind? Like just something simple, like a couple paragraphs?
Something more simple.
Yeah. Otherwise, I can try to find something.
Let me go. It's not in this profile. How I do minimize the SuperMemo screen?
Yeah, I guess you can't. Do you know how to use workspaces in Windows? Press Windows Tab.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Oh, okay, great.
I wanted to go to the.
Not Alt Tab. Like Win Tab. It's different.
Win tab.
Yeah. Try it. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's more or less the same. Okay, let me go.
Yeah, and then do new desktop. At the top. Uh-oh. Did that lag your computer too much?
Yeah, that's because I'm recording my screen.
Oh, okay, no problem.
It's lagging really hard.
Yeah. Okay, I guess don't use those then.
Let me use.
I have something. If you don't have anything else, here, I'll just send it to you. Yeah. Can you check Discord? And whoops. Yeah. So you see that if you do not work an important problem thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just copy that, and then put it into SuperMemo.
But where do I paste
Yep.
this text?
Just do Alt N. Yep. Sure, that's how you do Alt N. Yeah.
Yeah, because you said if it's a clipboard in, if
it's
text in the clipboard, it just touch up for you. Okay.
Spot on. Yeah. So let's say that we want to process this using the shortcuts that we've done so far. So just break this up a little bit. So like make this into separate ideas. So just read it and let's just take our time with this.
Okay.
So yeah, just give it a read through and then see where you can make it into a separate paragraph.
Okay. If you don't know what the problem is, it's pretty obvious. Scientists have thought through the way a number of plans into pressure important problem must be phrased carefully. Nobel Prize. Wozniak mentions Nobel quite often.
Oh,
We don't work on
yeah.
time travel, teleportation, and anti-gravity. So,
Okay.
okay.
So
It's a little depressing, the text.
I would say it's the opposite. I think it gives you a good way to think, okay, what are the important problems?
Spends
Like the last part, yeah.
Yeah. It's like saying that all your effort and time, it goes to little benefit.
But it's good to know that, isn't it? Isn't it more sad if you didn't?
Believe?
But yeah, where do you think that you can break this up? Like, where do you think the meat of it is? Like the core part?
The core part.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's just the three main core.
Yeah, so as an example.
That's just an example.
Yeah. And like, where do you think that you could split this up a little bit?
Here?
Okay, then add, like, just press enter, make that a separate line.
I just enter without selecting the text?
Yeah, just press enter, just make it into separate. And then see if there's another place that you could split it into a different part.
So that makes it probably important. Here?
Okay. Then why don't we go ahead and do something? So let's make an extract. So we can make an extract on each of these pieces, but which part do you think is, or which piece is the most important part to you?
The last one.
Okay, then make an extract on it. Use shift and then, yeah, so just hold the shift key and then click at the end of it.
Shift.
And then click. Yeah, just like that. Really fast selection. And then press Alt-X.
Alt.
Yeah, Alt-X. Yep. And then do Alt-Left.
Alt-Left. Okay.
All right, so okay. Usually in SuperMemo, we try to do one of three things. So we can either make closed deletions, we can split it up, or we can summarize it. So do you think you can split it up here, make cards, or you should summarize it, and then make cards on the summary?
That can be rephrased, right? Well, summarized.
Okay, then go ahead and rephrase it. Like you can just add the rephrasing at the beginning or like end of the topic, and then just leave the original intact if you want.
Okay.
Yeah, just enter. Yeah.
Most scientists work on important problems. For a scientist, spends almost all his time working on problems which he believes will not be important. He also doesn't believe that they will lead to important problems. I think I can get rid of this.
Okay. Now you have a smaller chunk.
Even
okay. Why you? Yeah, I'd say that's still pretty long. I wouldn't make close deletions on that.
The average scientist spends almost all his time.
I'll give you a hint on how you can formulate this better. So you can memorize a lot of stuff from this, right? But I think that there's two criteria you should look for. So the first is think of real life, think of the situation in which it would be useful to know this, and then formulate it so that you can recall the stuff that actually matters and not junk that you're not actually going to use. And the second is to focus on the abstract. So maybe you read it already from Waz, but like one idea I like is, let's say that my favorite brand of quinoa is 345 calories per 100 grams, or I make it quinoa is on average 340 grams for 100 grams of quinoa, or let's say that I make it even more general, I make it per 100 grams of a grain, on average, you'll get 300 calories. So the last one loses a bunch of detail, but I can now apply it in way more situations, right? So generally in SuperMemo, you want to abstract. You want to find those abstract rules you can apply everywhere. So think about what kind of thing you can formulate from this that you could apply in real life. It actually matters, and not like memorizing all these small minor details. Yeah. So just go ahead, think about it, try to rewrite it.
Because you don't want to memorize the actual wording, just the idea behind this, right?
Yes, exactly. That's why summarizing is so useful. Like a lot of times the original author is going to have a bunch of stuff you care about, or maybe it doesn't mention stuff you do care about. So rewriting is very useful for that.
So here, the most important thing is that the average scientist may be working on something that he doesn't believe. That's
yeah. Okay.
So the idea is that maybe you are working to something you're not, you think you won't let to solving problems. So I think that is just you do it because it's your job, not because you think it will lead to something.
That's reasonable. I would say that's like half of what you'd want to write. So basically, awareness that this is a thing that happens. The second thing that might be useful to think about is, okay, what should I be doing instead? Like, what problems should I be working on if the unimportant ones I don't believe in are bad? But the first part is definitely here. You can definitely formulate that. So go ahead.
Okay. But so do I type in the text or do I modify the current? Or
sure.
What's the best approach to do this?
It doesn't. Either is fine.
Whoops.
You can make another extract if you want, and then write in the new extract of the second one. Yeah. But like none of it, there's not like a set way, and it's not like there's a huge cost and like no matter what you do.
So there's no limit on nesting abstractions.
Sorry?
There is no limit into nesting an abstract inside another.
Oh, yeah, there's no limit. I've never thought about that like a single time in my entire SuperMemo career. You can make as many extracts as you want.
Extract, not abstracts, extracts. Okay.
Yeah, extract.
Yeah. That was what's called interference happens.
That's fine. Like the thing is that it's a skill, right? So you'll get better at it the more you do it. So if you keep using SuperMemo, then you'll definitely improve over time. And like I can consciously tell that I've gotten a lot better at editing text from using SuperMemo so much. So you'll definitely improve at it over time. And it's not easy. Like this is really not easy. It's very easy to just like mindlessly close stuff. So this is also a skill that is not just going to come to you. So I just be patient. Oh, I still struggle with it. It's not an easy thing. It's definitely not easy. Like there's a lot of discussion about it in the SuperMemo server. And like there's only like very few people I would say are actively good at it. And I would say everyone else is still like struggling and trying to improve. It's not, and like to think about it though, is that it's like an incremental process and it's not like all or nothing. Like right now, if you don't like formulate it perfectly, it's not going to kill you and you're still going to get a lot of benefit. And like I can tell now compared to when I first started with SuperMemo, I'm at least like 1.5 to 2 times better at formulating. And like if I look at some of the first closed deletions I make, I cringe so hard. But yeah, it's meant to be fun though. Like you just do this over time, and right now we're not doing incrementally, which is why it's probably a little bit harder than it normally would be. I'm just trying to show, I guess, the idea of how you break it down, and then later I'll get into the incremental part of how you shift this over time. Yeah, and one thing to consider though is that this doesn't necessarily represent the entire idea you care about. Like one very important part of this sentence you have is important problems, but you don't know what that means, right?
It's very
So
broad. It's very
you
broad
might,
term.
yeah, exactly. So like the sentence is a little bit fluffy. Like you don't know exactly what it means. It sounds like deep, but you don't know what it actually means that well. So another thing you could do is press Control Up.
Control Up.
Yep. And you see the middle part, right? The middle part explains, okay, that's what makes a problem important. So it might be useful to go through that part first and then go through the second part. Like when you understand his definition of an important problem, right?
I see. The first part.
I mean the second part. The second part defines an important problem. Yeah.
But I mean time travel.
Okay, I'm going to give you a bit of a hint here because I think you're on the right track. But something you can do is, yeah, I would write exactly that pretty much. And now if you make a close deletion on reasonable attack, it's fairly good. You understand what it means, right? You can make some close deletions here. So like one other thing you can do though is let's say that you want to remember that the consequences of a problem don't make it important. So what you could do there is write something like, what is it, the consequences or the attack of a problem that makes it important?
Yeah,
and then say attack, or like that kind of formulation. You can also remember the consequences part. Though I guess, yeah, you do have the core. So what you can do now is one of two things. You can just delete the stuff before that sentence you've rewritten, or you can make an extract.
What do you recommend?
What do you think? Like, there's no right answer. Like there really is not any right answer.
Yeah.
Like what do you prefer?
I will make a second extract.
Okay. Go ahead.
Oh man. Alt X?
No, you don't have to extract that part. You can extract the second sentence. The second sentence is the complete thing, right? Yeah, and then you can use Alt X.
Okay. And now I have to move on with Alt left.
Left. Yeah.
Okay.
Now you can start to make closed deletions. Where do you think you'd make closed deletions in adherence with minimum information principle?
Reasonable attack, I will do.
Okay. Remember the shortcut for closed deletion?
Alt Z.
Yeah.
It's normal to take 3 seconds to generate a closed deletion? Or it's
And no, it's not. It's your computer. It's definitely your computer.
Okay.
Yeah. But go ahead now and make some more closed deletions. Like where else do you know minimum information principle?
Yeah. Important?
Yeah. So like what are all the semantically important parts?
Here it's reasonable. For me, it's reasonable attack and important.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, so something you might want to try too when you start doing incremental reading is you can make like 5 closes right now, but it's a lot better many times to make like 1 or 2 closes, and then next time you see it, decide if it deserves more closes or if it doesn't. Just like think about, okay, is my memory on this good enough, or do I need more, like some anchor or something like that?
Yeah.
So yeah, this is good enough.
So one question: if I
Sure.
want to make a hint, a cue of what I am asking.
Oh, a hint?
Yeah. For instance.
Okay.
Important, and I can make a hint that it's just an adjective or one word. What I am asking.
Oh, then all you do is just put in parentheses adjective. and then just make the close, and then the ejective will show up, right? As long as you don't close that.
Like this.
Yeah. So like and then close the important, and then it'll just say add, and that's it. Like there's not like a secret technique for it. It's pretty straightforward.
Okay.
Yeah. Like another thing you can do is press Alt Left.
Alt Left.
Yeah. And you see the close, right? The highlighted thing. So what a lot of people like to do is add stuff after it, and then it'll also get highlighted, and you can see that it's important. Like right after it, though. Yeah. In like parentheses or something, because then it gets the formatting, and then it draws your attention to it, sort of.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Any other questions? Like, so basically, what I wanted to show you here is that if you have something, you can break it down some more, do some rewriting, make some close deletions, and just to show you the vague process. Before I show like how you do that incrementally. Does this make sense?
Yes.
Okay, great. Then we can start on the incremental part of incremental reading. Well, there's a few parts to this. The first is priorities. So let me just send you a picture. Just a second. Let me find it. Yes. Okay, I just found it. Sent it just now. Should load. Yeah, that's it. So this is my outstanding queue. I recommend clicking. Yeah. So with SuperMemo, use priorities as a way to manage the allocation of our time. So let's say that you have 50 or 1,000 articles you want to go through, and you only have 30 minutes per day. So if you go through each one by one, or you go through only one article per day, in all these different strategies, it's really a huge mess, right? So what you sort of want to do is get the maximum value for your time, right? So SuperMemo priorities are meant to do this. So roughly what they do is that if you have only 30 minutes, at the top of your outstanding queue, you'll see the most important stuff. And as you go farther down, you'll see the less important stuff. So essentially, it's just a good way to manage that. If you have limited time, you don't see junk in that time. You see what matters first, and then if you have more time, you can see what matters less. And that's about it. So press Alt P.
Alt P.
Yeah. So right now, this has a priority of 6.9444. And basically, the highest priority is 0. The lowest priority is 100. So right now, it's pretty high priority. And what I recommend, though, for you, maybe you've used it a little bit in SM15, but what I recommend is that you stick with 33, 66, and 88 for your priorities at the beginning. And
66,
30,
88.
Yeah. So just very simple, right? And 33 is like, there is definitely a golden nugget here I'm hunting for. 66 is like, that is sort of a golden nugget. It's not that gold. It's more like silver or bronze. Maybe I can use it, but not 100%. 80 is like, this is sort of probably useless, but I'm not 100% sure. Maybe it'll be a 66 later, so I don't want to delete it. So what's important, though, is they're very accurate with that. So you saw like with the what makes a problem important, or when I say like that they don't work on important things, like it's easy to overestimate how valuable things are, and it's easy to just take what the author says and then try to just memorize it without thinking for yourself why you care about it. So you want to think about why you care about things a lot. That part is really important. And if like you have to be harsh, because if everything is a 33, nothing's a 33. And if you have limited time, you're just going to waste your time on stupid stuff. So you want to be very critical, really think it through, really decide. But it's something you'll probably get better at over time. So that's mainly it for priorities. So it's very simple. Just press Alt P, press a number, and then press Enter.
Okay. If I do nothing, SuperMemo decides a priority for me, or it's
kind of. Okay. Well, basically. So go to the root, press Control Up 3 times. Or twice.
Control Up twice.
Yep. Again. Yeah. So you see that this has a priority of 1.4%. So all the extracts and items you make from it are going to have some vaguely similar priority. So it's important to set priority when you first start on something. Otherwise, all the extracts will get a weird priority that you don't want. But basically, the priority will propagate from the root article, but you can always manually reassign it. So usually, for items, I don't bother with priorities because it doesn't matter that much. But with topics, I'll usually just give it a quick reprioritize every time I'm doing a rep, which is very fast, over time when you sort of get used to skimming and using Alt-P. So just try it now. Give this a priority. Think about the priority it deserves.
Control-P.
Not Control-P. Plan is very cool, but
it's not Control-P.
It's Alt-P.
Oh, Alt.
Nope, it's yeah.
I'd set to 1.8. That's very high, right?
That's really damned high.
Yeah, 3.
Okay.
I see the color is changing. It's following this scale.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a scale. So the color changes depending on the priority you give it.
Pretty low, right?
Yeah.
Kind of. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how priorities work. So SuperMemo will handle the sorting for you. So one thing I'm generally a little bit mixed on showing people, but to me makes a lot of sense is, so click learn at the top.
Here.
Sorting.
Sorry. I already pressed.
Oh, that's fine. And then just do sorting. And then sorting criteria. Yeah. So what this does, this is one of the very few things in SuperMemo you can actually touch. And it's basically the balance between priority and then randomness. So for topics, you can see it's pretty random. And there are decent reasons for that. Personally, I like it a little bit more to the left to have a bit more priority influencing what I'm seeing. But yeah, this is sort of a useful thing long term. You probably won't need it now that much, but when you have more and more stuff, then you'll want to screw around with it. That one doesn't matter very much because generally you're going to get through all of your item reps for at least the first 2 years. It'll take quite a while till you have too many reps to be able to do them all.
So putting in other words is just the fuzziness you want.
Sorry?
The fuzziness.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. How much random there is.
In Anki, it's called fuzziness. So you get, you get the exact mathematical formula, but you can add some component of randomness.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, something like that. So you don't want it too far to the left, because it's something called priority bias.
Yeah, but I don't see numbers, so it's just by estimation.
It's very fuzzy, very, very fuzzy and random and guessy. So yeah, for prioritized items, I would just reset it to what it was before. For prioritized topics, maybe a little bit more to the right, just to be safe. Personally, I used to like it a lot on the left, but I think there are some decent arguments to not have it that far to the left. But yeah, I would put the prioritized. I wouldn't put it that far to the left. That's a little bit too far, or way too far, I would say.
Okay.
I would have it in the middle for prioritized topics. For prioritized items, it doesn't matter. But prioritized topics, I would have it. Yeah, something like that maybe. And then press sort now. And then press OK. Well, there's not really anything to sort, but yeah. That's the. Yeah, I guess. When you start to put more stuff, it'll make more of a difference, but it'll start sorting for you automatically based on the criteria. But the priority is the first thing. The second thing is intervals. So go to a topic, press Control up.
Control up.
Yeah. And then do you see where it says 1 day, 1 rep?
Yeah.
That's just how long it'll be till your next repetition. So it says 1 day, and that's tomorrow. You're going to see it again. So it'll slowly grow over time. So press Alt-P.
Alt-P?
Yep. And do you see where it says A factor?
Yeah.
So if you multiply the A factor by the interval, that's how it calculates the next interval, and it rounds up, I think. So it'll climb that rate, roughly.
Oh, see, the A factor is the equivalent of easiness in Anki.
I think so. Maybe.
And
Probably.
at least in Anki, the minimum you get is 1.3. You cannot get lower
Hmm.
than this.
Yeah, that's for items. It would probably be similar in SuperMemo, but this is for a topic, so it's a little bit lower.
And you want to modify
Yeah.
this?
I pretty much never modify it unless I have something I want to see every day. But generally, I'll never modify it. Generally, what you will rub your fingers all over is press escape.
Escape.
And then press Control J.
Control J.
Yeah, so you'll screw around with these intervals. So you can like give it whatever interval you want and then modify that. That's generally what you'll touch. Oh, it translated into Spanish. Huh, I didn't know that.
Because I'm guessing it's because I have a bilingual Windows. I have both. The user interface it's both in Spanish and English.
Huh.
For instance, the date it's not in English because
that's kind of weird.
Then the month. But here you have the American way to do the date.
Yeah.
That's weird.
But you can type in a number. So like, let's just change it to 15 as an example.
15?
So just type in 15. Yeah, press OK. Or enter. And you can see that it deprioritized it relevant or relative to how long you pushed it back. So now you can just do Control J again.
Control J.
And give it an interval of 1. And press enter.
If I'm pressing enter, it doesn't. Okay. Oh, it's because it's lying. Okay.
Press Alt Left.
Alt Left.
Yep. And it set it for you. So that's just what like how they work. And intervals you'll want to mess around with a fair bit on occasion. So like, let's say that you import all of Waz's stuff. And all of a sudden, there's this article, you can't make any sense of it. There's a bunch of fancy words, you have no idea what they mean. So you would then want to use Control J to push it off, import some other material, go through that material first, then go through the thing you pushed off. So for ordering stuff and learning stuff, like when you don't have the prerequisite knowledge, Control J is very useful. And sometimes you'll want to just push stuff off for months because you don't know if it's useful now, and it probably isn't, but maybe it'll be useful to future you instead.
That's nice.
Yeah.
And you can schedule for a year, even.
You can schedule it for decades from now if you really wanted to.
Wow. Okay.
So any questions here? Because this is about it for the basics of how the incremental reading functionality stuff works, and we'll do actual incremental reading.
Well, I will need to get used to this because I will forget most of this now if I don't get the process.
Yeah. Okay, then the next thing we're going to do is going to help cement this a bit. So you have two options here. So option number 1 to show you actual incremental reading, and this is what I recommend, is to go through the incremental reading manual with incremental reading, which sounds boring, but I swear it's a lot of fun. I have very good memories of going through it. And it's like generally very good material because like that's how I learned SuperMemo, going through the incremental reading manual. Like it'll give you all the small things that I can't explain because there's just so many other minor things that are out there that I can use.
It's a manual from SuperMemopedia?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then option 2 is we import other stuff, which is also fine. I can also show you that. But personally, I recommend going to the incremental reading manual and then like actually doing some of it together. Which do you prefer? Like the thing is that it'll take you a bit of time, like maybe 30 minutes to an hour over 2 to 4 weeks.
I don't mind this.
Okay.
The time commitment is not an issue.
Awesome. Now let me just send you a link.
Okay.
Yep. .win.
Dot what?
W-I-N.
W.
I-N.
I-N.
Oh, I-N, not A-N. Ganar? I forget how you say it. Win. Like Windows, win?
Oh. Article.
Parser. Yeah, spot on. And then press Shift Control
I'm a bit slower. Shift.
Sorry, Shift Control B.
Shift Control B.
Yeah. And then drag this link into your bookmarks bar.
What's that?
That's a good question. I was about to ask you. Is that malware?
What's this? It's Russian. I don't know what's this.
I have no idea.
I never used in this particular computer. I never used Explorer, so I don't know what's this.
It's probably some sort of adware or something.
Yeah.
Maybe it's fine. But yeah, just drag that link, the parse article one. Yeah, further up. Yeah.
In SuperMemo 15, it wasn't.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so click that and the create concept. Right next to close browser. Yeah. And then change the title to incremental learning. At the top? No. The title is at the top.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Incremental
learning. The L should be capital though. You should make it very fancy and proper.
Okay, it's incremental learning, not incremental reading.
Yeah, incremental learning is a bit broader. So that's all we want. Then you can press the import button.
Import button.
And go back to Internet Explorer. Click on the incremental learning one. Yeah, go to the incremental learning tab. Oh, it already did it. Go back to SuperMemo.
Yeah, it did. Maybe it's a delay, a lag with this computer. I don't know.
It could be. Usually it'll ask you to allow access, but in this case, it felt lazy, I guess. So just press OK. You can ignore that. Press Alt Tab back into it. Yeah. And give it some time. Yes. So now right click. And go to Reference. Edit. And the references are terrible, as I'm sure you can tell. So change the title to Incremental Learning Manual.
Where did Barack Obama come from?
Basically, there's a reference inside the manual that screws up SuperMemo's reference finding system. So it's very angry. That's why it's doing that. But yeah, change the title, change the author. Yeah, Incremental Learning Manual. Or just Incremental Learning is also fine. Up to you. Then change the author to Pyotr Wozniak. Yeah, there's a parentheses and a dot before that you're missing. Yeah. And then Pyotr Wozniak.
It's all how it's spelled. Pyotr, like this?
Yeah. And then Wozniak.
Wozniak.
Yep. And the date is April 6th, 2020.
Source is not.
And yeah, you can just it's SuperMemopedia. Put it all fancy like. And the link you should fix with the link I sent you.
That's a YouTube video, actually.
Yes.
By the way, what time is for you?
It's like 2:22. Probably take a nap in half an hour. So I got some time.
If you are from USA, that should be very early for you.
So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm currently stuck in India. Like actually, I live in Japan normally, but I'm currently stuck in India.
Oh, you live in Japan? Oh.
Yeah.
And email? I think rid of email.
You can get rid of email. You can get rid of comment. You don't need those.
And can you tell me again what is broken? The metadata thing.
So like basically the reason it's broken, you'll never see this anywhere else. Is that, well, okay, actually, I'll show you in a second. So, well, actually, you see these references, right? So you're like, you'll see in a second why they're useful, but essentially you're using them for getting context of things. So basically the reason that this imports terribly is that there are some references as examples in the manual And then SuperMemo thinks that those are the actual proper references and then steals those. But they're not, but it thinks they are.
Oh, I see. Then the bar_memo is an example here.
Yeah. Spot on.
Okay.
So press OK.
It's taking a while.
Yeah. And yeah, okay. Now this part is going to take a while. So press Control Enter.
Press Control Enter.
Yeah. And then split.
I use this actually.
Yeah.
I use this with Wikipedia article.
Oh, I actually almost never use it, but I can see why it's useful. Then press OK.
Like that?
No, you don't have to touch anything. Just press OK. It's good enough.
That's running in real time. Okay.
Wow, this is the slowest I've ever seen it go ever. Epic. Wow.
Well, yeah, it's still, and I must say, it's so good. Yeah, I think later on I will go to the.
Okay, whatever. You have some time then.
Yeah.
So can you tell? Sorry.
That when we end this call, I will go buy a new.
Oh, you seem to be lagging a bit, and I can't actually hear you. Oh, say something again.
Hello. Control what? Excuse me.
D.
Control D.
Yeah.
And here is more waiting.
Yeah, that's why you want to dismiss it now, because if it shows up again, it's going to take forever.
I guess it's done.
No, I don't know what it did, but press it again, and then press Control D again.
Control D. That was just refreshing. My God.
Yeah, and then press yes. Perfect. Okay. So now press Control Space.
Control Space.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right. And then you see the button to the, well, okay, first off, you see where it says interval 1. Everything is going to show up tomorrow. And that's like 300 topics. I don't think you want to do that, just my opinion. So click on the button.
Not that much.
Yeah. So click on the button to the top left, and then click the button right next to the button to the top left. Top left. Upper.
This?
No, above that. Yeah, click the button. No, up. That's not it. Further up. No, don't close that. But go back to subset view and the very top left. Yeah, that one. And then click the button to the next to that. Right next to it.
Oh, okay.
It's
lagging a bit. A little here. Okay.
Yeah, and then click learning. Spread.
There's no shortcut.
Yeah.
There's no shortcut for this.
There might be. I don't know it though. I don't think so. Yeah, you do. So let's just be conservative with how much time you're going to be putting in. Let's say like it's an hour a day. Then maybe you can do 30 new elements per day. So put in 30.
Okay.
And no, this will climb very fast. And then press update.
Update here.
Yeah, and then it'll show you the entire thing over 12 days. Now you have a second choice though. So this choice is basically, do you want to see this in a random order or in order? It's up to you. Which do you prefer?
Well, because it's the first one, I will prefer to not go to the random.
Okay, then click on criteria. Yep, and then you use or retain current repetition sequence. Yeah, and then press OK.
Wow, so many settings, bro.
Yeah, and then press OK again.
Okay.
And yep, now you can see that you're going to see 30 and starting today. So just press escape, close that stuff, and let's start doing some reps.
Okay.
So just close that subset view as well. Yeah. And press Control L or learn, either is fine. Yep, and then press next repetition.
Next repetition.
Oh yeah, you can press Control D, and you have to dismiss it again since it added this to the repetitions.
Control D.
Yep. Yes.
This one.
Press Learn.
I press Learn.
Yep.
I don't know what this sound.
Press Alt Left maybe.
Alt Left.
Yeah. Now press Learn.
No.
Or Control L.
Control L.
Yep. And what do you think you should do with this extract?
Adjust the title, right?
I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, it's the caption.
Yeah. So what do you want to do with it? Memorize it?
Nothing.
Okay. Then what do you do if you want to do nothing with it?
Get rid of it, and that was. Oh man, I don't remember.
Shift Control Delete is how you delete stuff.
Control Shift Delete.
Yeah. Easy. Now this is the next one. What do you want to do with this?
Why I cannot select this now?
But I think maybe just restart SuperMemo. There seems to be something a little bit wrong.
Okay.
You can just do Alt F4, just close the main window, and that'll close the entire program.
I won't lose any data with it doing this?
No, you'll be fine. You'll be fine.
Oh my god.
And I'm gonna send you something afterwards for how to set up not terrible backup for SuperMemo, which I recommend doing much sooner rather than later.
I just muted my computer.
Oh.
Okay. I will use a different approach.
And wait, I'm forgetting something I'm doing. Wait. It's not closing normally?
Nope.
Right click on the. Oh, that's why.
There was an extra window pending. Okay. Okay, we can continue.
Just a sec.
Table of contents.
Whoops. Yeah. Okay. So what were we up to? Yeah. What do you want to do with this? Memorize it?
Maybe that may be useful for creating my own knowledge tree, perhaps.
In what sense?
Hmm?
In what sense?
Wait, let me just open it. Oh my god.
In the sense that if I want to replace the same.
Oh, like that. Okay. Then do you want to keep seeing it over time, though, or do you just want to dismiss it?
We can dismiss it.
Okay.
And it's.
Sorry, give me a sec. My sister is pestering me.
Yeah. Alt Shift Delete, I think.
Okay. Sorry about that. So yeah, you can just go ahead and dismiss it then if you don't want to like actually do stuff with it actively over time.
Okay, it's Control Alt Delete.
No.
No.
That's Control Shift Delete, and that deletes stuff. So you want Control D.
Control.
That dismisses it, so it's still referenced.
Okay.
Yeah, like that. Yep, and then press OK, and then click.
Okay. Now it's to move to the next one. It's Alt right.
Nope, Control L.
Control L.
Yep, that's like the learn button.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So what do you want to do with this? So I'll just give you a brief rundown. This is the first actual thing we're seeing. you want to give it a quick skim and then prioritize.
Yeah, that's
So do that first.
The summary, no? The summary of
Yeah. So yeah, basically. So on skim, like how valuable do you think this is of the 3 grades that we decided on?
That should be 33.
Okay, then go do that. Alt P.
Alt P.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I move on to the next one, or do I make time?
Well, oh yeah. Then you have 3 choices. So you want to make cards, extracts, or summaries here, or dismiss. What do you think?
Well, I guess this information is just a summary of the information it's in the other extracts.
Yeah.
So that's no new information, but it will be useful to read this before proceeding, right?
Okay. Yeah, then give it a bit of a read, and something you can do. I'll just give it a read first.
Computer aid, no, electronic form, pictures, video, sounds. Yeah, 95%. May I ask you what's your percentage of retention?
Let me check. Let's see. Retention is... where is it? 94.2%.
Whoa, that's really close.
Yeah.
The speaker. I do remember reading this. Maybe it's another article.
Yeah.
A priority, recall, retention.
So something you can do here is that if you think that there's something useful in like the first section or some specific parts, you can start making some extracts. And if you want, you could just extract the entire like last 4 paragraphs, like from Incremental.
Okay, I can do an extract of this.
Well, wait, just a sec.
Yeah.
What is it you want to memorize here? What do you want to learn?
What incremental learning is useful for?
Is it useful to memorize that? What would you use that for? Parties?
Yeah. Maybe showing off in some dinner with friends. I don't know. Yeah, it's not that useful to.
Then I think that there are 2 things that you can do here. So the first is, so there you already know most of this. Like it's not like rocket science, right? So the first thing that might be interesting though is, do you know what incremental writing and problem solving, what it means here by those?
Problem solving and incremental writing, yeah.
So if you don't know what those are, press escape.
Escape.
And then hold the shift key and then click on incremental writing. The link.
That will open.
Yep. Yeah. Spot on. In Internet Explorer directly. So, but, oh wait, never mind. What it's basically trying to tell you is that it's already in somewhere else in the manual. So it's not opening a separate link. It's just the original thing.
Oh,
but
exactly.
Yeah.
Reference. Okay.
Yeah. So in this case, what might be useful is that like all this stuff you're going to figure out over time anyway. So is it useful to memorize now? And the answer is probably not. So it might be more useful to see this like well after you finished it, if you really can't already explain it. Because like if you ask me, okay, what is it useful for? I can already explain this like from memory. It's not going to be like exactly this, but it doesn't need to be exactly this. It just needs to explain what I think it is. So if you think about this, like, is this adding well to your body of knowledge? Like, is this adding to your ability to solve problems?
I see.
Right? So like with that in mind, what do you think you should do with it?
Yeah, I will dismiss it for later once I'm done.
Well, you don't have to dismiss it. You can just push it off with Control J, remember?
Oh, push it, Control J.
Yeah. And give it like something crazy. Yeah, and then future you should probably be really smart and a genius by then, so they should be able to deal with it very well. And just press no.
Final drill.
Yeah, you're going to see that a lot. You can ignore it. Yeah, and then just press learn. And you might want to deprioritize this as well, though, by the way. You might want to prioritize the previous thing.
Okay.
Press left. This, yeah. Yeah, priority.
And priority was Control P or no, what was the priority?
Alt P.
Alt P.
Yeah.
Let's say 53 again.
Yep. Are you sure it's a 33 though? Is it that important to you?
Oh.
Like, yeah. Think about it. Like 33, 66, 88.
66.
Okay. Press OK.
No, the 88.
Sure. Press learn. What do you think about doing with this one?
Incremental ring, image, video, audio. Yeah, I think I can dismiss this.
Okay, go ahead then.
Control D. And learn again. Okay, wow, that's long.
Yeah. Okay, so this is where you might want to make an extract, right? So just skim it and then see if you can figure out a place where you can split it up into two pieces that are smaller, more manageable. Well, skim it and then prioritize first. Don't forget that part. So something you could do is just like extract the entire first section and then deal with it more in detail later. Like, yeah, from there upward. Like the entire, yeah, like that.
An extraction needs alt point. No, alt
X. X for extract. Yeah, and then you can just extract the second part and then deal with those more later. And yeah, dismiss it.
Control D.
Yep. What do you want to do now?
Do I move on or do I go to the first?
Oh, you just move on. It'll show it to you later. Yeah, this is probably the next. Yeah. What do you think of doing here?
Version is not the problem.
Do you want to read the entire thing in one go?
No.
Then maybe make extracts.
Okay, so I make extract, but without reading the whole thing.
Sorry?
So I will making extracts, but without reading the whole thing, the entire thing.
Yeah. Well, that's what I personally like to do. Like to just see, okay, where can I split it? But that's only like one school of thought. Like there are a lot of other ways to do it. So don't assume because I'm telling you it or I do it, it's the correct way.
Yeah. So I guess with time I will find my own style, my own approach.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like one of the ironic things about SuperMemo is that you can memorize everything I tell you, but you still have to have experience, and you can't just get all of it just from memorizing. Yeah.
I will split here.
Okay. Art, I want you to. So I sent you a link on how to set up backup for SuperMemo. So go through it today, and let me know if you have any issues. And I want you to put your entire. Well, I'm just gonna write it here.
Okay.
I don't want to forget because this is really important. And I lost like my collection of 6 or 8 months, which is a terrible experience. I don't like anyone else having that same issue. But okay, so just a sec. I would say for me it took a few months. I would say for you it'll probably take a month because I'm helping you, and I've probably accelerated a lot of the stuff that would take you forever to figure out by yourself. Yeah. But I'm pretty sure that you can just use it fairly not terribly now.
Okay. if it's good for you, because we're already 2 hours and a half in, is that